Ethan Klein from H3H3 just dropped a content nuke on Keemstar, and the fallout of it was felt throughout the entire Twitter community, as it caused probably the most discussion I've seen on Twitter over a topic in quite a few years. So let's not waste any more time and get straight into the Twitter reactions. This all starts when Ethan tweets at Keemstar his video and says, "Congratulations, you made the news." iDubbbz's girlfriend responds to him with eye emojis. The quartering responds to Ethan by saying, "I like the part where you spent 15 minutes blaming Keemstar for Etika's death, just because you were mad at him for overestimating your earnings from a video game." Elvis the Alien says, "Thank God for this. Fuck that guy." A person's repeated actions over time define their character. So when Keemstar inevitably comes out to defend himself against H3's video by saying, "You are bringing up old drama," I don't think that holds much water in his case. Ricky Berwick responds with this Twitter video.
Holy shit.
Eat That Pussy 445 says, "I have had dreams about the day I could officially nut on a picture of Keemstar hugging his mom. Today's the day. Hashtag Keemstar's over party." Hassan says, "I'm glad that H3 went back to making good content like his video on Keemstar. The absolute worst person on the internet who has never been held accountable for a fraction of the horrific things he has done." John Swan says, "Ethan bad. Keemstar bad. Thank you for listening." Turkey Tom quote tweets Ethan and says, "What's the verdict on this video?" Leafy responds to him by saying, "My Keem video was better." Keemstar responds to this by saying, "Fuck Ethan Klein, I will be responding." Leafy responds to Keemstar by saying, "No, all this time I thought you were a reliable news source. The good guy. But you are not the good guy. You are bad guy." Keemstar responds to Leafy by saying, "Why did you unfriend me off of MySpace? Not cool." Ethan quote tweets Keem and says, "Hopefully it's with a retraction and an apology." A fake Ethan Klein then replies to him by saying, "Papa bless, he's a clown." Keemstar responds, "Trust me, you are not going to like it, snake." Ethan then responds, "Me or the fake account you responded to? Please clarify." Here's a glimpse at Keemstar research. He responded to a fake H3 account. Ela Klein responds with clown emoji. Keemstar responds to Ethan by saying, "Quite frankly, you are both fake, so..." Optimus responds to the content nuke by saying, "I don't care what Keemstar has done in the past, which has been completely overcovered. Going after someone's sponsors and blaming them for the suicide of Etika is fucking disgusting. It downplays Etika's personal issues and quite frankly puts a body on someone's name. You didn't care about Etika before this, yet I was one of the only people actually encouraging him to seek mental help," showing a tweet he made back in April of 2019 at Etika telling him to get some help. Ethan quote tweets Optimus and says, "I don't care about false allegations of pedophilia or felonies, doxing, swatting, belittling mental illness, but Ethan has gone way too far making fun of G Fuel. And I most certainly did not blame Keemstar for Etika's death. I think he created an extremely toxic environment for him and others." Optimus responds to Ethan by saying, "Yeah, because you made the same exact video as 4,000 other people, Ethan. You don't give a shit. You only act as you do simply because you got in a Twitter argument with him. You wouldn't have made the video otherwise. Keemstar isn't innocent, but you only care because Bird app." The fact that this blatantly got taken out of context and taken literally fucking cracks me up, honestly. I wasn't saying I literally don't care. I was pushing the point aside to make a new point about a video that came out 2 hours ago, instead of remulching the same shit. Isaac8280 responds to Optimus by saying, "But you can't push aside all the horrible shit he's done. When talking about his sponsors, dude, they are interlinked. His sponsors supported him and stood by him all throughout the shitty things he has done, no matter how overcovered they are." Optimus responds to him by saying, "The sponsor doesn't give a shit. It doesn't take a business major to realize Keem makes G Fuel a ridiculous amount of money. That's what matters to them. If you don't like me, suck the skin off my dick." Both Ethan and Keemstar are wrong for the shit they did in the past. Keemstar didn't help Etika with how he acted, but I don't think he's directly responsible. They don't care about those topics. They care about that they had a Twitter beef. And it's pretty apparent that most of you don't give a fuck about Etika either, and only care because of this whole stupid situation. So with that being said, eat a pile of horse shit, and hit the follow button so I can promote more content to your punk ass. Many of you are simply too stupid to see that I'm neutral in this situation, and realize that all they give a fuck about is getting engagement and revenue off it. If Ethan cared so much about exposing Keemstar, he would have done it years ago. Have a good one. Going back to the tweet where Ethan said he didn't blame Keemstar for Etika's death in his video, Turkey Tom responds to him by saying, "I believe you said almost verbatim. It's really interesting that a few months after Keem talked to Etika about jumping off a cliff, Etika jumped off a bridge to his death. Homie, you more than implied that Keem was responsible for what happened to Etika. If you were going to make this big exposed video where you clearly pushed that message, then own the fuck up to it." Kavos says, H3 using Etika's death in his new video is going to backfire so badly, because now Etika's family are forced to talk about this again to angry H3 fans who are telling them who to blame and how to feel. Basically, this video is going to cause way more damage to a family who is grieving than to Keemstar, especially now because they literally said it's not his fault. Did Ethan mention the fact that Etika's own mother said that his death was not Keem's fault? Was that explained anywhere, or did he leave that one out? Convenient he didn't mention this. He then shows a text from Etika's mom to Keemstar. I believe she made this a couple days to a week after Etika's death, when Keem was getting a lot of shit for it. This text reads out, "Hello Keemstar, this is Etika's mother responding to you to address the recent threats and accusations you've received in relation to his death. I wish to inform Etika's fans, friends, and viewers that Keemstar is not responsible for Etika's passing, and should not be held accountable for my son's actions. Etika loved Keemstar's show, and wanted to make his appearance on the program both memorable and exciting. My son's goal was to make the segment as dramatic and entertaining as possible, not to use it as a vehicle of hatred towards the show's host and creator. Spread love and goodwill instead of passing judgment. What's truly needed is a much better platform supporting mental health awareness throughout the world. Please build up your online community with kindness instead of recklessly breaking each other down. In God we trust. You will take these blessings we send out to you." Memalg101 reacts to all of this by saying, "So H3 is pinning the late Etika's suicide on Keemstar on his latest video, even though there is video evidence from Etika himself stating the contrary, thanking Keemstar for featuring him in Drama Alert when he did, and also stated no one is to blame for his decision? You don't use another person's suicide as a gotcha on your stupid drama videos. You just don't, H3. Ethan Ralph says, "Shut up, Klein. You don't know what you did. And you mean the same toxic environment that you got rich off of?" The Quartering says, "It isn't Keemstar's fault Etika died. That's a really low attempt to poison the well by Ethan." The Smash Pro Player Zero says, "The sad part about this YouTube feud between H3 and Keemstar is the tragic story of Etika is ultimately being weaponized to expose the shady behavior of some YouTuber. While it's good to call out despicable acts, it's painful to see Etika's legacy be tainted and used." Sky Williams tweets out, "It was just Etika's fucking birthday, and y'all really out here using him as a weapon again. Fuck, man. I don't even want to look at my timeline today. It's making me genuinely sick. Etika's death can't be pinned solely on just one person. We all failed him, man. We aren't professionals or psychiatrists, but I think many of us were just too entertained by his antics to recognize that he genuinely needed help. Right when we figured it out, it was too late. Ugh, and the only thing worse than using Etika as a weapon is defending yourself by cherry-picking his words and giving them weight and definition when it benefits you. He wasn't periodically sound and sane when it suits your defense. I'm so fucking enraged. I can't even be here right now. Keemstar, you have always struggled to understand mental health. You've tried sometimes and it seems like you are getting it, but I truly don't think you understand. And I don't think you ever will. You should not respond to H3 about Etika. Tackle other shit. Just let him go." Some Ordinary Gamer says, "I just hope Etika's resting in a good place." Repzilla says, "Man, I think Ethan shouldn't have brought up Etika as a point against Keemstar. That was heavy." Augie RFC says, "I really don't like arguing about the Etika situation publicly because he should rest in peace. But H3 forces that conversation. It's so annoying." Sydney then responds, "Dude, I agree. Like, let the man rest. It's already been discussed and is completely tone deaf." Augie replies, "Etika was a legend, but thanks to retarded YouTubers, they will only remember him because of the 3,000 arguments had about who killed him." This whole conversation regarding H3, Keemstar, and Etika got so big that Etika's girlfriend had to come out and say something. Alice Pika tweeted out, "Really sad to see people blaming Keemstar again. He is in no way responsible for Etika's actions. Let's think about it some more. One of Etika's goals was to be on Drama Alert, because he respected that man. They were friendly behind the scenes. Desmond was actually unwell/sick. I know he helped attract a ton of negative attention. It's just really hard to explain to Desmond's fans that our boy was literally mentally unwell, that the reason for it goes much deeper than cyberbullying. It's just really hard to do because he's not here to defend himself. So in short, I understand that Keem's past makes it really hard for others to change that opinion. So don't go thinking I'm trying to make a divide between those who like and unlike him. This is just my take on the situation. This is the most difficult conversation to have. Deranged Crowd responds to Alice by saying, I'm gonna be honest here, I 100% know that Etika was sick and unwell, so he wasn't in the best headspace. That doesn't detract from Keem's actions. However, Keem could have just as easily reached out and actually helped him instead of using him for drama alert. That's how I see it. Alice responds, but he did, but didn't outright proclaim it to the world, cause it's no one's business. Keemstar quote tweets Alice and says, thank you. Thank you, Alice. I'm so sorry that this man is using Etika's death as a weapon. It's sickening. Only people like you that were close to him that actually knew him, shit, you were his girlfriend, can give perspective on this. Thank you. Kavos says, Etika's girlfriend defends Keemstar against H3H3, who, let's be honest, pretty much blamed Keemstar for his death in his video. Who knows more about this than his own girlfriend? Now, you may notice that Kavos quote tweeted a deleted tweet, and that's because the tweets we just read out from Alice were actually deleted due to a bunch of H3 fans giving her hate. In addition to deleting the tweet, she had to private her account, and then she tweeted out, I finally did it. I deleted my tweets. Samsku787 responds to her by saying, you should have stood your ground on those tweets, despite the amount of people pissed at you. Deleting them only makes it seem like you regretted posting them in the first place. I feel bad you had to go through this. Alice responds, I really wanted to keep that, to stand my ground, but people who know H3, Keem, and Etika are like level 9999999. To my level 35. Lol. Larina Corey says, it helped add perspective, even though some people don't agree. Alice responds, it felt really quickly like trying to calmly explain my point to an angry mob. A very validly angry mob, by the way. Plus, Keem's admitted he fucked up. Now these are all the tweets that I was able to get from Alice, but in Keemstar's defense video, he ends up showing a couple more that I missed. It starts out with her saying, please don't think I'm trying to absolve Keem of the wild shit he said. Damn, people think I'm being paid. I'm just trying to help give more info to the relationship between Keem and Etika, since it's not entirely what's shown online. I'm not some fangirl. I hate the way he talked about mental health, and he's since changed, but I'm not a fan. D-Master Switch responds to Alice by saying, why are you so goddamn nice even if Keemstar is in the wrong? You still tried to be helpful. Alice responds, I haven't seen H3's video at the time. I would have said something different or not at all if I knew what was going on. But overall I was trying to point out that he didn't kill Dez, which were comments I was seeing online. Sam responds to Alice by saying, he didn't kill Etika obviously, but without Keemstar and his constant negativity and mocking, Etika would still be alive. Alice responds, I really can't confidently agree with this. How do you feel about Keem's video? I agree. This shit is so lame and unnecessary. Not this time, please. Oh my god, people really think that text Desmond's mom sent to Keem is fake. I can't help but laugh. Man, that's just how she types. She's not some 20-something born with a computer in her hands. This can't be real, man. What the fuck? Now, up until this point, I've read a lot of tweets that go against Ethan. But there's another mentally distraught YouTuber who had some bad interactions with Keemstar. And that person is Boogie2988. He tweets out, oh, I should mention, people are asking me about the H3 video on Keemstar. Haven't watched it yet. Not sure that I will. We all already know what a monster Keem can be. Please support him, because he's monstrous. They celebrate him when he does it. Some people like monsters. Sorry for making this about me. I was once friendly with Keemstar, trying to celebrate the good he did, and ask him politely to avoid the bad. Eventually, he turned on me, calling me a snake and worse. He actively tried to destroy my career and mental health. Keem is in a position that if he does good things, he can do a lot of good. But Keem is also in a position when he does bad things, it hurts so many people. I wish we could just train him to be kind all the time. I don't know if that's possible. Here's the thing about Keemstar. He genuinely does not care what you think about him. He genuinely does not care if and when he hurts other people. He genuinely does not care about the impact he has, good or bad. He cares about himself, his family, and his friends. That's all. I genuinely think he would shoot a man in the face at point blank if it would benefit him and or someone he knows. And he could get away with it. Bet. One more thing on Keemstar. Yes, last summer when I was suicidal, he added me to a chat and tried to help. But after he realized his advice of just stop being sad didn't work, he got quickly frustrated. He called me weak. He said I faked my mental illness. No love lost. How can anyone look at a 600-pound man who spent 18 years in a nightmare situation and think his mental illness isn't real is an idiot? No one could experience what I have and not have severe issues with it. Anyone who presumes to say otherwise is foolish or evil. I give him all the credit in the world for doing his best with me and making a cursory effort. It's truly appreciated. His actions following that literal suicide baiting me on Twitter a few months later, not so much. Ethan Klein responds to Boogie by saying, "That's consistent with everything else he said about mental illness, so I definitely believe it. I'm sorry that happened to you." Emperor Kirsch responds to Boogie by saying, "You faked being swatted and pretended to be suicidal last year for attention. You tried to expose Keem for exposing these things to the public. You are a bad person and YouTuber who is desperate for attention and should leave the platform for their own good." Boogie responds to this by saying, "Your argument is based on the fallacy that I wasn't actually suicidal. I was. Plenty of people close to me can testify to that. Keemstar knew that fact. We spoke about it at length on the phone. He then pretended it wasn't true when it suited him, just like my detractors." Someone then sends a screenshot to Boogie of Keem saying he doesn't want to help Boogie anymore back in July of 2019. Boogie responds to it by saying, "Yep, I felt that way at the time, as he had tried to help me. Look at the date. He was trying to help me at the time. But after he turned on me earlier this year because he didn't like a DM I made, I got to see him for what he really is. As I have said, if he is your friend, he will be absolutely wonderful to you. And at times, he was to me. But once he no longer likes you, he will absolutely work to destroy you. He did that to me and many, many others. If you are his friend, don't piss him off." Boogie then makes a Twitter video with the caption, "Final thoughts on Keemstar."
For those of you wondering why I turned my back on Keemstar, it's because earlier this year, Keemstar turned his back on me. Check his Twitter timeline, and you will see where he said everything under the sun about me, including tweeting out this Reddit mega thread that everyone's seen and claiming everything and it's real, and how he's going to pull back the veil on the monster that I really am, and saying that I was a liar and a manipulator, and said that I faked my suicidal feelings and my suicidal emotions and my mental health, and I did it for attention, and that I played a nice guy online when I'm actually a piece of shit. That man quite literally kicked me when I was down. So yes, last year after Etika took his life, he was making an effort with me and other people to grow and become a better person. But when he stopped making that effort and quite literally just took a giant shit on what was left of me and my career, I decided, fuck that guy. Absolutely. Fuck that guy.
Arbiter Maul responds to Boogie by saying, "I watched the whole thing go down. He beat you down further more and more. I will never forgive him for it." Boogie responds, "Yep. Even after I blocked him and begged him to stop, he kept on being a piece of shit. I tried to call him and settle it like a man, and he refused to pick up the phone. Fuck that man for doing me so dirty, and fuck anyone who supported him doing it." Nicholas Diorio responds to Boogie by saying, "Unpopular opinion. Boogie is right here. Keem completely flipped earlier in the year on Boogie. Whether you agree with Boogie or not is irrelevant. This animosity didn't just appear from thin air. If I was Boogie, I would have taken the opportunity to talk my shit too." Boogie responds to him by saying, "Absolutely. I kept quiet about Keem's betrayal because I was afraid of him and his retaliation. At this point, I got nothing to lose, and I'm not afraid. I'm going to say my shit, and people who don't like it are free to not listen. Tired of being scared." Fane Hernandez responds to Boogie by saying, "I haven't even seen/remember the stuff that went down between you two, but what I would say is, what is your standing on him and Ethan's current situation? Or would you like to stay out of it completely? Genuine question is all." Boogie replies, "I was just gonna let it slide and say, it's Keem being Keem, but the chance to speak my mind was handed to me, so I spoke. To my critics, if I should be held to task for my mistakes, then shouldn't we hold people to task for being purposefully evil?" Jake Emerald's responds to Boogie by saying, "Even Muda tried to help you out, and was disappointed at the end of the day. You did shit that would piss off any friend he's trying to help. Stop pretending like he flipped everything on you out of absolutely nothing." Boogie responds, "He did it because he didn't like a DM I made telling iDubbbz I liked Content Cop. True story, check his timeline. Can't believe he was that thin-skinned. Seriously though, Keemstar sat and listened to me talk about my suicidal intrusive thoughts, and then 6 months later decided to kick me when I was down, even though I was no longer relevant to anyone. He did it because he didn't see a DM he saw. Forgive me for not liking that. Support Keem all you want. I don't care. I have supported him when he does good things, and if he does more good things, I will support him then too. But don't support him in kicking me while I was already down. It was a shitty thing to do. Why did Boogie betray Keemstar? This video he made about me in November comes to mind, in which he says my suicidal feelings and intrusive thoughts weren't real, but were a cry for sympathy and to avoid criticism.
You're asking for help and then snaking behind the scenes. It's just man code shit. It's nothing about fucking feelings. No one's over here hurt and upset. No, I'm just like, fuck this guy. I'm gonna fucking show everyone who he really is. It's that. It's not feelings. And I don't even know why you're attempting to apologize, because your apologies mean nothing, okay? You're a sick, twisted, manipulated motherfucker that was willing to go and stop criticism on you by threatening to kill yourself. What kind of selfish, manipulating fuck are you? Oh, iDubbbz, if you make a content cop on me, I'm going to kill myself. Like, you literally said that to him. You said that to all of his friends. You said it to every YouTuber you fucking knew so you would spread the word out to try to stop criticism. That's how bad and twisted and manipulative you fucking are. Go fuck yourself. It's not about feelings. It's man code shit. Time to grow the fuck up. Big Daddy Keem about to teach you how to be a big boy, okay?
The entire exchange can be found here. Big thanks to Boblax for making this. No problem, dude. Glad to help archive these tweets. Looney TNT responds to him by saying, I want to hear you talk about this today, not some clips. Let's hear the I'm not scared Boogie. This is your chance to get it all out there. Boogie responds, I might, but I have some reservations. I don't really want to do drama on my channel anymore. I'm so sick of it. So is my remaining audience. Besides, I don't want the people claiming I am just clout chasing to seem like they are right. A video would make it seem that way. Boogie then responds to 2 deleted tweets. I wasn't able to get the original tweets he responded to, so I don't know the exact context to this, but I still thought the tweets were interesting enough to read out. The first one says, I have literally nothing on Ethan. While he's had his share of controversy, Ethan has been nothing but polite and kind to me. I am able to say the same thing about Keemstar until last November, when he saw a DM he didn't like and decided to curb stomp me. The next tweet reads out, problem is, I did not tell Ian or anyone else any such thing. I said I was afraid of a giant exposed video coming out making the things in that Reddit thread look real and take hold. I said I was considering killing myself before it happened, so it wouldn't damage my fans. Samu Emery responds to Boogie by saying, but literally 60% of your fan base agree with what Keem said. Boogie, I like you, but you don't have to act such a way towards someone that really tried to help you, even though he let you down in the end. Those who are retweeting without knowing, just do your search. Boogie replies, it's okay if people believe that about me, but it's not true, and that's the problem. You can be wrong about me all you want, but it doesn't make what Keemstar did any less shitty. Since both me and Keemstar actually know the truth, this is still a valid beef. Zivek responds to Boogie by saying, so you are kicking Keem while he's down. Hypocrisy? Boogie responds, golden rule, do unto others. He did it to me, now we are even. Bet you he will still retaliate against me eventually, even though I am no longer anyone of consequence to. Wait and see. Now that's about it of what I want to read out today. There has been so many more tweets regarding this situation going on, but I can't just cram it all into one video because there's way too many. So this is going to be part 1 of many more parts to come. So if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. And also follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with everything going on over there. Thank you so much to my channel members for supporting the channel, in particular Josh Pescator and Furboy for donating $30 a month. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.